Josh Allen had 318 total yards, running and passing combined, pair of passing touchdowns. James Cook, 120 yards rushing and a score. And the Bills roam past the Broncos 31-7. The better story is in the losing locker room. So that is where we're going to begin. Denver in this game had to be forcefully removed from the playoff party. They were kicked out. They're done. That's it. So where did it all go wrong? Let us discuss. Where did it all go wrong for the team from Colorado? The question, who gets the biggest chunk of the Bronco blame Rocky Mountain oysters? Something I know firsthand from a bet gone bad about the Nuggets and the Clippers years ago, having tasted those disgusting Rocky Mountain oysters. So who gets the biggest chunk of the Bronco version of the Rocky Mountain blame oysters? So I've got 1990s band, YouTuber, and chomping on a cigar. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a punch bowl is what we're going to make. So to kick off here, let's start with Bo Nix. I actually had confidence that Bo would do well, mainly because the Buffalo defense is not very good. And it certainly looked good early in the game. You talk about getting out of the gates fast. The Broncos came out. They got the ball first drive of the game. Bo Nix completes a couple of passes for 62 yards and a touchdown, and you've arrived, right? Broncos are in good shape, look good, ready to go. Okay, you're in the game. You got the lead, fine. And then it all went to hell. They got completely bogged down, not because of turnovers. This was not a giveaway situation for Bo Nix. He just wasn't good enough. It was like the 1990s band, Bo Nix. I don't know. He's probably too young for this, although he's like an old dude, even though he's a rookie because he played in college for 10 years. But Bo Nix must have been a fan of Limp Bizkit, because he was a Limp Bizkit out there the rest of the game. He finished the game, Bo, with 144 yards. But if you do the MALLER math, you look at the first drive of the game where he had 62 yards. For the balance of the game for the Broncos offense, the final 57 minutes and 36 seconds, Bo Nix was not only a quarterback, he was terrible. Final 57 minutes of the game, he had a 65 passer rating, averaged 4.1 yards per pass, 82 yards passing over the final 57 minutes and some change of that game. Simply not good enough. And it was not because of a blizzard. There wasn't some Arctic condition, lake effect snow. There was none of that. The temperatures were actually mild for a January game. Not that Bo Nix would have gotten a pass anyway. He plays for a cold weather team that plays outdoors in the Broncos. But he just sucked at a time you cannot suck. And Denver, you look at the run game, there's all kind of, they didn't run the ball at all. They only had 79 rushing yards. I think 43 of those were by Bo Nix. So they were bad all the way around. But Bo Nix was the quarterback who had played well at times and certainly looked great in different games this year and gotten his confidence going. And against a substandard Buffalo defense, he was completely tied up by the Bills. Now, furthermore, on the other side for the Broncos, defensively, what happened to Sean Payton's much ballyhooed Denver defense? What happened in that situation? So they were also guilty of absenteeism, the Bronco defense. Of course, for a while they kind of hung in there, but the offense didn't do anything. Josh Allen, with the help of the Bronco defense, Josh Allen was a YouTuber. He was the sauce god. And he turned the Broncos into a nice horsey sauce in this particular game, as Allen averaged a mind-blowing 10.5 yards per pass, completed 77% of his passes against supposedly a pretty good Bronco defense. And you mix in the running game with James Cook, the yin and the yang, the thunder and the lightning, all of that. It was a seamless performance, other than that opening drive by the Broncos where they went down and scored a touchdown. The Bills put up 471 yards of offense against the Broncos defense. The Denver defense was completely bedraggled in all phases. The secondary did not make a game-changing turnover when the game was in reach. They didn't do any of that. The defensive line for the Broncos was absolutely gashed. 210 team rushing yards and a touchdown, as we mentioned, rushing for James Cook in this game. The Broncos' defensive front, which had bragged about how many sacks they had gotten and they'd set a team record and all that, they had 2 sacks and 4 quarterback hits against the Buffalo Bills in the biggest game of their season. It was not there. And as a result, when you crunch all of the numbers and put them in the calculator, the Bills averaged 9.3 yards per play. 9.3 yards per play. It was a disheartening performance by the Broncos, considering that they had some mojo moments, but no mojo here. They figured to lose. They were big underdogs. I thought they would show some more fight. It was really just a soft football performance by the Broncos there. They did not compete. And that part's depressing. Now, you figure you're not going to beat the Buffalo Bills, but at least make the Bills sweat a little bit. The Bills never really sweat. They never did. The first drive doesn't really count for much because there's so much time left. And there was never a sense that the Broncos were going to work their way back into the game. You never got that vibe. All right, now, last thing. We move away. We move away from the NFL postseason and some coaching news over the weekend. A domino has fallen. A puzzle piece has been placed into the jigsaw puzzle. If you did not hear, what is your reaction to the coaching hire over the weekend? How do you react to Mike Vrabel going home again? Patriot Hall of Famer has been hired as the new head football coach of the New England football team. My reaction, YAWN, a nice hearty yawn. Not that I think it's a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move. It's just been telegraphed since the regular season ended. The Patriots, who had already planned to fire Gerard Mayo before they won their final game against the B squad for the Buffalo Bills, he was given the boot. Robert Kraft did some sham interviews and hired the guy that he wanted. More evidence the Rooney Rule is ridiculous and stupid and shouldn't be in the NFL. You hire who you want to hire. NFL teams do that anyway. They just give the illusion that they're paying attention to the Rooney Rule, which is rather absurd. But Robert Kraft, I imagine in the cartoon bubble in my head, Robert Kraft in his 80s there, chomping on a cigar when the news came out that Mike Vrabel, the former Patriot player, will now return as the Patriot head coach. And Kraft's chomping on the cigar, and he's acting like Colonel John Hannibal Smith from the iconic A-Team, saying there's a plan in everything, and I love it when a plan comes together, because that was the plan. The Patriots taking a bit of a victory lap with this win, toast of the NFL for a day. An odd announcement. I thought they would have waited until Tuesday, so there was nothing else going on, but they made the announcement the news came out on Sunday, and toast to the NFL, right, for a day, at least in the morning. All the pregame shows got to talk about that. Universally lauded the Patriots for the choice to hire Mike Vrabel, celebrating that. It sure sounds like the perfect arranged marriage for the Patriots. But I'm going to give the Patriots a B+ on the MALLER report card for Mike Vrabel. I give him and the Patriots a B+. Because the problem, as good a coach as, I think Vrabel's fine. He got to a AFC championship game, if I'm not mistaken, with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. But he did play in a division that was a soft division. That is one of the worst divisions every year in football, with Houston and Tennessee, which he coached, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. It is just a morbid division. So somebody's going to win the division every year. But Tennessee had some good teams without great players at the quarterback position when Vrabel was there. Now, things got real sour at the end before he left the Titans, but he's a no-nonsense guy. He's a nicer version of Bill Belichick, who's just a douche. Like, Mike Vrabel's, he's hard-headed and he's gruff and all that. He's got an edge to him, which will play well with the base, but he's not a complete a-hole like Belichick was. Right? There's a little more nuance to his a-holism, but it'll play well there. And Gerard Mayo was lacking in all those areas, right? Mayo was lacking, and he coached a team that was a soft team. He called them soft. They played soft. And then we find out, the Patriots buried Mayo on his way out, saying he was playing cards on the team plane with his players and all that. And the one caveat, there's one caveat to the Patriots getting the coach that they wanted, and it's the immortal words of Oscar Wilde, the great philosopher of his time. that, and he's credited with saying that in this world, there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what someone wants. The other is actually getting what they want. Right? And so the easy part is hiring Vrabel. The hard part is actually getting a team that has enough players to win in a division with Buffalo. Now, you are in a division with the Jets, and they blow, and the Dolphins are a soft team in Miami, right? So you got that going for you if you're the Patriots. But the last 2 years, the Patriots have a .235 winning percentage. They are 8-26. 8-26 the last couple of years. That ain't good. You don't need me to tell you that. It is the Ben Maller Show. If you'd like to comment on any of this, you had the Washington Commanders, the beneficiary of Baker Mayfield's generosity with the fumble there, and they win. Most games are lost, not won. How about the story involving the Green Bay Packers? 4 turnovers. Jordan Love, 3 interceptions, 2 of them when the game mattered. Fumbled the opening kickoff, gave the game to Philadelphia. Not a lot of competitive football. We did in the Tampa Bay game. That was close, and then Baker Mayfield did the thing you can't do at the time you can't do it, sucked at a time you cannot suck. But now we've got one wild card game left. It's a neutral site game because of the fires in L.A., the Rams and Cardinals in Arizona, and that is that